Hi, everyone. I wanted to address this controversial topic that is constantly being used to demean Islam and Prophet Muhammad. It highlights a common issue, the lack of understanding when it comes to Islam and its historical context. I hope you can listen with an open mind, with curiosity instead of preconceived ideas. Seek understanding before casting judgment. Let's take a step back and consider the time and society in which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, lived. This was one of the darkest periods in human history. Arabian society was deeply unruly. Clans engaged in prolonged wars over the smallest disputes. Perhaps one of the most heartbreaking practices was the burial of female infants alive. Why? Because daughters were seen as burdens, while sons were valued for their ability to fight and contribute to the tribe. But here's where the beauty of Islam shines through. Islam came into this chaos and turned it into order. It transformed a society drowning in darkness into one guided by light. The same generation that once buried their daughters alive became some of the most compassionate, God-fearing, and honest individuals in history. One of the most remarkable aspects of this transformation was how Islam elevated the status of women. Women, who were once treated like commodities, were now given rights, dignity, and protection. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers married widows and women who had been left without protection due to regional wars. These marriages weren't about lust or exploitation. They were acts of compassion, aimed at providing these women with love, family, and security. And let's address the elephant in the room: polygamy. In Islam, polygamy wasn't about indulgence. It was a solution tailored to the needs of that time. And let's not forget, almost all of Prophet Muhammad's wives were widows. Compare this to societies that permitted men to have countless mistresses with no rights for the women involved. Islam gave women dignity, not exploitation. Now, let's talk about the controversial topic of marriage ages. It's important to understand that societal norms and expectations were vastly different 1,500 years ago. During that era, marriage was closely tied to puberty because one of the main purposes of life was survival and reproduction. There was no concept of career building, higher education, or long-term life planning like we have today. Also, let's not forget that the average lifespan in 6th to 7th century Arabia was just over 40 years. People lived shorter lives, and their societies adjusted accordingly. It's unreasonable and frankly ignorant to impose modern standards on a completely different historical context. Here's an honest challenge for anyone who doubts this perspective. Ask your grandparents, or better yet, ask them about their grandparents. You may be shocked to learn that even a century ago, marrying someone under the age of 10 wasn't uncommon, even in the Western world. The standards we follow today are relatively new, shaped by contemporary issues and modern life. And that's perfectly fine. Societies evolve. But what's not fine is applying today's standards to condemn the past, especially when it's done with a clear bias or agenda. So, what's my point here? Islam wasn't just a religion. It was a solution for its time. It uplifted societies, brought justice where there was chaos, and offered dignity where there was none. Accusations against it often stem from a lack of understanding, or worse, an unwillingness to understand. To anyone watching this, my plea is simple. Seek knowledge with sincerity. Ask questions, yes, but ask them with the intention to learn, not to judge. Thank you for listening. I hope this has given you something to think about. And as always, stay curious and stay kind. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights.